thank you to those who waited. Fuck this chair. It's good.
I like the
It's
chair.
good to see you all. Go,
Oilers.
And who's watching the game tonight? Me.
Well, I would like to first talk about crossover performances. And this is going to be open-ended. Feel free for anybody to jump in whenever you feel comfortable. These questions are for all of you. So, you've all moved between genres. So from sci-fi, horror, drama, and comedy, but crossing mediums from live action to games to voiceover is a whole other shift. So what surprised you most when performing for games versus film or TV? Moving between genres, what surprised you most? Like what is...
I will say that I think that how simple, we've been doing it for a long time. It's a little like a chef cooking a steak versus cooking a chicken. Like it's same set of skills. You're applying what you do to both. And it's not as hard as you think. This idea of going from Shaggy to someone like Stu and Scream, first of all, you have time and distance between each of them. It's a different creative team, you're wearing different things, and that's what we do. I mean, that's our job. So it's not as hard as people think. It's actually, the older you get, the more, every single time is a different joy, it's a different adventure. So it's, I think, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because it's always...
I'd like to
It's always interesting because it's the creative team that's behind it that's really making calling the shots on what it looks like. And like you said, we just keep doing what we're doing with a little bit of direction here and there for whatever specific genre that you're doing. But it's pretty much, the same. And you just like I did more for the Planet of the Apes, and I'm in a leotard and a head camera. And then when you see the thing, it's like I didn't channel that. I just tried doing what I needed to do as an actor. And then you get direction from the director, and then the work happens with Weta and putting all the images together. So it's an interesting thing for us because it is quite the same. But when you see the finished product, and you go like, wow, I can't believe I'm playing a big ass ape.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, bruh. No, I mean, for me, and I don't know about you two gentlemen, but acting is acting. So it doesn't really matter what you're doing, that's just technique. The craft and the words, that's where it all starts. So for me, it starts with the words. I don't care if it's a film, TV, theater, video game, whatever the different categories are. Acting is acting. And so it really, for me, it's all about the words, and that's where it starts. Obviously, it's different if you're on the stage and projecting in the theater, or if you're film, TV, or video, and motion capture. To me,
so you all kind of
acting
agree
is
that
acting.
it's kind of the same for you all too, between
Yeah, it's the same approach, it's the same set of skills.
Right.
I mean, you're using what you do best, and we've been doing it for a long time, so it's fun. That's what makes our job fun, is that you're always going to different families, different teams, different locations. You've been shooting all over the world. It's
traveling circus, I call it.
It is, yeah.
And it's the most intense, beautiful thing. You make these incredible relationships. Like when we did Snowpiercer, and you do these projects, and you just sort of have this incredible bond, which is so beautiful. And it's so difficult for people outside the business to understand. You can get so close, and you can be, because you're waiting around. Film and TV, you sit around for 8 hours, and you work for 3 minutes, and then you're back talking to each other. The intense relationships I love. I don't remember the scenes. Like whenever people say, what are your favorite scenes? Like with us, I can remember hanging out.
Yeah, we're just in the back and hanging out, yeah.
There's those relationships. So it's like, there's the acting is acting for anything, and then there's just life is life.
Yeah.
Kathleen Turner, the first movie I ever did was a movie called Serial Mom. And Kathleen Turner said, doing a movie is like having a family with a built-in divorce. Because the reality is you also leave a film and you may never see those people ever again. Right? So you're together through thick and through thin, you're playing lovers, you're playing best friends, and then you may not see them for another 20 years.
But it's so beautiful because there's this like
You know, there's that connection that you had in that one movie that when you see each other, it's like, well, you're shooting it back 20 years.
you're just, and even like us,
Yeah.
like we don't get to see each other very much, but we just like, we had an instant love and connection. When we see each other, just like,
It just drops in, yeah.
Like I was just in Europe with The Walking Dead. They were doing the sort of the Walking Dead conventions again. God, to fucking hang out with a group of friends all weekend is beautiful. But then we can also be like, that was a great weekend. Love you. See you whenever. And
That
it's
seems
so
to be like
beautiful.
the nature of the business is that you get to work with people for a very compact amount of time, and then hopefully you see each other, but you never know. There could be gaps between.
And it's a beautiful thing. It's very rare to have when you get to that connection on set, and then all of a sudden people are just blown away. But you haven't seen them in 20 years, but it doesn't matter. It feels like yesterday.
Do you? Yes. So do you? That was my next question. Do you feel like it picks, like you pick right back up?
100%.
I love that. That's actually really sweet. You never hear the stories like that behind the scenes. You guys talked about acting is acting. So, what is it from your? Can you tell us anything about your traditional background in acting that you really pull from when you are able to move from one genre to the next?
I mean, for me, I started quite late, and so I played in a metal band for years, and I boxed for years. So when I had to,
Yeah.
Dick, why are you clapping? Don't follow him. He's crazy.
oh my god, that was awesome. So anyway, he does this a lot. He did this a lot on set. He screwed up so many takes. So for me, I pull from my music background and I pull from my fight. Like when I'm nervous before a big gig, I go by my boxing background where at least I don't get punched in the face, but I know how to relax in a pressure situation. So I have little things that I can pull from, and I got really lucky to be a part of this industry and work with some amazing people just from that background.
Okay. Anybody else? So you have music and boxing. Matthew, I think you have a very traditional acting background.
Yeah, I was a obese teenager that sucked at everything, and then yes, it's here for the obese. And so I found acting, and it was the one thing that I was good at. I could make people laugh. Like my defense mechanism for me was to make people laugh, and so I could apply that to acting classes when I was young. And it was the only time in my life that adults would say to me, "You're good." And it's amazing what can happen to somebody that feels lost and on the outside when an adult or a peer or somebody looks at you and says, "Hey, you're good." And so for me, that fueled my whole life. I just kept going. And so for me, I started to realize that my tribe, the people I loved to be around, were in the theater. So I kept seeking them out in school, in classes, in training, because they're the people that I would rather be with than anyone. So my people are artists, are creatives, and it's the same thing we find on set. Like I find that the people you love to hang out with, like that's sort of an indicator of where you'll thrive in life.
Stephen, can you tell us anything about how anything in your background, whether it's traditional acting or anything like boxing or music or anything in your background that you brought to your sets and your roles?
Fucking from a young age. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's just stupid. I mean, I kind of started when, and it was only when I was doing some podcasts and my mom was visiting me, my mom. And I used to tell the story of my elementary school. I performed as Betty Boop. Drag. Elementary school in Calgary, which is okay. And I thought it was my great idea, just being born creative, but my mom recently told me no, that was Mrs. Brasso suggested it. No idea why she suggested it. When I did Betty Boo in drag in elementary school, I don't know, performing. I loved it. And then I did theater in Calgary for years, and I just loved it. It wasn't about escaping into another character or any of that.
But you also play high-level volleyball too, right?
I wouldn't say high level.
You also play mediocre level volleyball.
Well, but I went to volleyball after, so I sort of did theater for years, and I was actually going to go to RADA in London, which is like Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts, and I was all set for that. But my mentor in Calgary, in the same year, he died of pneumonia, which of course, as we later turned out, was AIDS. And then my dance teacher jumped off the building and killed himself. So within a year, I had two of my mentors creatively die, and I then went into volleyball.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I literally just kind of went into sports, which is a great training for not all athletes are good actors, as we all know. And I'm not looking at you because you
Kind of look right at me.
But it's a great training ground because of the discipline. So I just stuck with creatively. I was always a creative person. I started there. I segued into sports for a bit, but I was always needing to create. You know, that was always my thing. That's what makes me happy.
All right, I'm going to ask each of you a question. So this is going to be personal experience in signature roles. And we're going to start with you, Matthew. You've done everything from cult classics like Scooby-Doo, Scream, and Hackers, to your recent performances like Life of Chuck, and even stage shows like Faster, Purple Worm, Kill Kill tonight. What keeps your creative spark alive when you're moving between such wildly different worlds?
Keeps my spark alive.
Yeah, what inspires you to between all of these different
I
genres?
have many children that need to be fed.
That is the motivation, yeah.
That's it. It's interesting. I actually have started two companies. So one's called Beto and Grimm's. We're here in the back hall. So the guys are bending today. And I have a company called Find Familiar Spirits. For me, I like doing things outside of acting to distract myself from this career. I feel like I love acting, I don't love the career. And so for me, I find myself filling my life with things other than acting and things other than this business. Because the business it can be brutal at times. Right now, I'm having like a great moment, but in a year from now, I may never work again. And living under the gun of maybe never working again is a brutal way to work, especially when you are like, this is what saved my life when I was a lost kid, and so to not have the chance to keep doing it is a horrible reality, so I try to avoid that and fill my life with other things.
Alex, from Van Helsing, Reacher, Zero Contact, and many more, you often play powerful but layered characters. What's been your most creatively demanding role so far?
Being his friend, I would say that. My most creative, demanding. Well, honestly, I play these, these big dudes a lot. And people always talk about getting typecast. I mean, every actor is typecast in some way. But and I embrace that. I'm actually really loving finding different levels of what a certain character that's quote unquote a heavy can be. But right now I'm doing a TV show called The Greatest about Muhammad Ali, and I've been a Muhammad Ali fan since I was 5. So I've been I know this for the last 50 years of who this guy was, and I play a guy named William Faversham, who's a financier. So it's killing me that I can't box in the show, and I'm seeing everyone boxing. But just to take on the, upper class New York guy that finances Muhammad Ali's career from the beginning, that's something I rarely get a chance to play. So I've been really diving into that, the character study of a real person. That so far has been a role. Like physically, I've had other roles, but this acting-wise has been a really amazing experience so far.
And when is that? When can we see
I don't
that?
know. We're shooting it right now, so I'm not sure when that's coming out, but it'll be out on Prime. It's called The Greatest.
Amazing. I look
Thank
forward to
you.
that.
By the way, I auditioned for Planet of the Apes and I didn't get it. And I feel like I did a good ape. Do you want to hear my ape?
I love that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I swear you were doing something else there for a second.
You're hired.
Seriously.
You got it. You got the role.
I mean, come on, that's clapping.
Steven.
That's really good.
I can't stop doing it now.
All right, Steven, your performance in Grand Theft Auto 5 as Trevor is legendary. But you've also nailed TV drama in Westworld and Snowpiercer. How do you prepare for roles that are so wildly different but equally intense?
I mean, it's kind of repetitive, but it's the words. Again, it starts with the words. You know, when there's sort of the better the script and the better the writing, the easier it is to get into something. So, if the words are there, the character generally can follow. So that's where I always just go back to that. You know?
Okay, so we can move on to industry evolution, which I'd like to talk about.
You didn't seem that impressed with my answer.
The word.
So anyway. Or is it because I just repeated myself?
He does this all the time.
He does
This is
this
what he's
all the
like
time. Don't worry about it.
24/7.
It's not on you.
So I'm
It's on
doing
you.
okay.
I could walk like an 8, but I can't.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, that's the thing, Alex. You do get up and walk. How's Steven doing?
It looks like you're pooping. Well, I always say, like, if you look at me and you wonder where we came from, it's pretty fucking obvious because I look like a Neanderthal. Forehead.
Can you do it again but with more feeling?
What's that?
Can you do it again but with more feeling?
Walk? Well, that's kind of like an old man.
That's an old man.
I got poop. I got poop. I got poop.
Poopy britches.
I could be in like the Planet of the Apes when they get old and they just have to like, I got poop.
I have lost all control of this.
I'm sorry.
No,
Sorry.
you're-
Sorry.
You are
Sorry.
all